everyone, welcome to my course about reading notes. Today I'm going to be showing you how to read notes and the best and effective way to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin with looking at the steps. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you the first symbol here. This is called the Treble. And the treble clef is important because this is going to be for your right hand to use. Okay? You might have seen this symbol before. The next symbol that we're going to have is called the bass clef. And the bass clef is for the left hand to use. So you can imagine, right? One hand is the right hand, the other hand is the left hand. Okay, so this is the treble clef and then the bass clef. The treble clef symbol is a curvy symbol like this, right? And then the bass clef symbol is a dot that has a backwards C and then two dots with it. Okay? We need both of these to create our staff. So let's take a look. The treble clef has 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. And in between are 4 spaces. We're going to take a closer look at that next. But the bass clef also has 5 lines. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to connect this with one bar line. And at the very end, I'm going to make a double bar line. Double meaning that there's 2 lines. Okay? I'm just going to clean up my stack a little bit so it's an even line distribution. Alright, here's our symbol. Now I'm going to use a different marker for this part because I want to show you the lines and the spaces. So in the treble clef there are 5 lines. Like that. And there are 4 spaces. The left hand also has 5 lines. And it also has 4 spaces. When I mean lines, are these lines here, right? And then what I mean by spaces are in between the lines. We always count from the bottom and count up. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Same for the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am missing one part of the staff here, and it is the brace. When I make this brace here, it's going to connect everything. It's going to connect the right hand and the left hand together, and everything in total is going to be called the grand staff. So this is called the grand staff. Here's one staff, here's another staff. Connect the right hand and the left hand together. It's a partnership, a teamwork. And this whole thing is called the grand staff. Now on the grand staff are going to be some notes. And this is where it gets very tricky. What I mean by notes, right? We're going to start with our most basic notes, just plain circles. So remember there are 5 lines, right? So I'm going to make these all into line notes. What I mean by line notes is that they have a line going straight through the middle for each note. And in between are the space notes. Alright, they're in between the lines. So remember, 5 line notes, 4 space notes. That's for the right hand. We're also going to have the same for the left hand. So 5 between our 4 space notes. You with me so far? Just want to show you the whole staff there. The next part, we're gonna have some acronyms, okay? Debating on, I'll just put them in the notes. So this one's E, G, B, D, and F. And let me see real quick. Let me erase this. I'm gonna make it a little bit better. I want to make it a little bit easier to read for everybody. Okay. I'm going to restart. So the line that's in the right hand, right? Remember we start from the bottom and go up? So this is E, G, B, D, F. You might have heard this before, this acronym, right? Every good boy deserves fudge. So you got every good boy deserves fudge. An easy one, right, to remember. And then in between you have the space notes. It spells out face. F-A-C-E. Remember, face also rhymes with space, right? We come from the bottom and we go up. That's the right hand. Now we take a look at the left hand. So G, E, D, F, and A. And what can we use as an acronym for the left hand, right? The left hand, we can use the acronym Great Big Dogs Like Animals. And then in between this, for the space notes, we have A, C, E, G. This one we can use all cows eat breakfast. Now there's a reason why I like these acronyms a lot. It's because the right hand, right, the treble clef, is all about people. Alright? Remember, every good boy deserves fudge and face, F-A-C-E. And then the left hand is about animals. I'm going to draw a rinky-dink cat. I'm going to show that this is animals and this is people. Okay? And that's how we read the notes here. Now, the most important part about reading notes is that you need to be able to practice them. Practice comes a long way. And if you don't practice it, if you don't look at the notes every day, you're going to forget. So what I want to do is I want to draw another picture. So I'm going to stand here just in case everyone has to take a screenshot. Okay? And then we're going to go on to the next picture. So I'm just going to erase everything. We're going to draw another staff. And this will come in very handy later. And I'm debating on making it a red staff, so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm going to have to make this one a little bit bigger to make room for all of our notes. Let me see. When we understand the staff a lot better, it really makes a difference. Because students who don't really study the staff, that much or not, or really not that great with the staff. They have a lot of trouble reading notes, and it just doesn't really come out to be like the best experience I've learned for students. Am I missing a line? There. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. I put in an extra line. Been a long day, guys. Okay. Third. I'm gonna do my best to try to make it as clean as possible. Okay. So there's our staff, right? Remember our brace at the beginning? We have to have the brace. Okay. So the very first note we're going to look at is middle C. Middle C is right in the center. Middle C is special because it has its own line. C, right? Right in the center. And if you find middle C on your piano, you're going to realize that it's really not in the center. It doesn't look like it is. It's kind of on the edge a little bit on your piano, but when you see it on the staff, you're going to realize it really is right in the middle, middle C. So this is C, and then right above C is E, and then right above D is E, right above E is F, and right above F is G. And these are the 5 basic notes that we had to realize or learn how to read. Now remember the line notes, right? So middle C is a line note, E is a line note, and G is a line note. Middle C is on its own line, right? E is on the first line of the staff, and G is on the second line. Our 2 space notes are D and F, right? D and F are both space notes there, okay? So these are the most 5 basic notes that we had to know. So then I'm going to step aside so everyone can take a screenshot of it. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase it. And there's a reason why. I want to make room now for the other side. So I'm trying to erase this as best as I can. Okay. So remember middle C, right? Let's put middle C over here because I need more room, but it's still the same, middle C. Now think about what letter comes before C. It's going to be B. B comes before C. And then what letter comes before that? A, right? What letter comes before that? G. What letter comes before that? F. And then we got D, and then D, and then C. I want to show you, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Right, remember the musical alphabet because you go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then after G, you're going to start over again. We have A, B, C. Oops, sorry, not D. A, B, C, and then so forth. You know, so after G is always going to be A. There is no H. Okay? So that's why we have this C, D, E, F, G, then A, and then E, and then middle C. Now there are some tricks. I'm going to show you all the tricks that I know for this stuff. There. There are some tricks on this stuff that we can look at. So for example, goes 1, 2, 3, the pearl is in the C. This is C right here. 3 spaces down, you get C. So remember this rhyme. 1, 2, 3, the pearl is in the C. C is right there. Now, coincidentally, if you have 3 spaces down for C, 3 spaces up is also C. That's also a C there too. Because remember our acronym face? Alright. And it works out to be like that. Here's another example I want to show you on how to read notes. The example is this. So, hopefully you can see it okay. This note is on the very bottom line. This note is on the very top line, in the left hand. So this only works for the bass clef. The very last letter of our alphabet is G, isn't it? It sits on the very bottom line. Our very first letter of the alphabet is A. A sits on the very top line. And that's another trick that we can use to find the notes. I want to review it just a little bit more. One more trick. Okay, so remember which note is on its own line? Middle C, right? Middle C is very special on its own line. Now, look at this. Remember, on the very top line is our A, right? What letter is above A? You said B, that's correct, right? What letter is below A? G. So we have one letter above A is B, and the other note below A is G. And I just put middle C here for reference. Alright, let's review again. The more we review, the more we talk about it, the easier it's gonna be. It's funny how it works out that way, but it just does. So, the treble clef, remember? Right? 5 lines for the treble clef. The bass clef, remember? 5 lines for the bass clef. And we'll connect them with the 1 line here. And then a double bar line at the end. Okay, and then the bass. Remember right hand here, this is the right hand. Has 5 lines. And in between are 4 spaces. And then the left hand here, left hand, LH for left hand, RH for right hand, left hand on the bottom. Left hand has 5 lines. And then 4 spaces. So that tells us something here. that tells us that there are two types of notes. A line note sorry, I'm just trying to make it more easy for everyone to see. A line note and then a space. Okay? Now I'm going to keep the staff here. I want to show you something, because if you have a space note, the next one it has to be a line note. So the next one has to be a space note, and the next one has to be a line note. So sometimes you will see this. For all of the line notes, I'm going to color in green. We only have 4 examples here, okay? So the line notes are green. And the space notes are going to be red. You see the pattern? Space line. There should be a pattern. So when they're all next to each other, this is what it looks like. Space note, line note, space note, line, space note, line, space note, line note, space note. Okay? Now this is the next part that I want to talk about. Even more in depth. This is more advanced for reading notes. If you feel like this is too much for now, you can always pause the video and come back to it. You can rewatch this. I really recommend rewatching this video. But I also recommend practicing, which I'm going to talk about a lot later. But this is for more advanced technique and study. You're going to see I have to draw a lot of these clefs. So here's the treble clef, again 5 lines, right? Here's the bass clef, again 5 lines. Double byline at the end to signify that. Alright, let's talk about it. Try to choose a color marker that stands out the best. Just feel like red is really good. So this is for the advanced study, okay? Remember how middle C is on its own line, right in the middle, right? If you have 2 lines, so this is called, when it has its own line, right? This is called a ledger line. Ledger line. L-E-D-G-E-R line. So when it has its own special little line, that's called a ledger line. Now if you take a look, right, you have 5 lines in this tab here, 5 lines in this tab here. The ones that have a little special line, these ledger lines, these are very special notes. So this is middle C. And if you have 2 lines above the staff, this is C. And if you have 2 lines below the staff, this is also C. See how they match, right? Now remember there's another C here, use space, F-A-C-E. There's another C right here. And then you go down, remember all cows eat grass, all cows, C right here. Or remember you can use 1, 2, 3, the pearl is in the, that's all our C's on this staff. So you notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C's, right? This is definitely a more advanced technique of reading notes. And I'm going to step aside so everyone can kind of take a screenshot of this if need be. They don't show this in the videos about learning notes, but this is what is very important. Alright, another one. Another technique, one last technique I want to bring out. let's say we have middle C again, right? Okay. You know how there's one note above C? This is D, right? But then what is before C? B. Third, B, C, D. Now C will be our placeholder because think about the letter that comes right after C. After C is D, right? And then below C is B. That's what I kind of wanted to show you. When you have something in the middle of this box right here, this is to signify that this is in the middle of the piano. Because remember, this is middle C right here, right? So anything inside this box, you're talking about the middle of the piano. So with that in mind, we are shown something. I wish I could flip this to the other side. I don't think I can, but this is the top of the piano. This is near the top. This one's the middle. And then this is near the bottom. Okay? And they really do not talk about this on YouTube. I don't think so, not yet, I've seen. And this is kind of my own technique I've learned over the years. Top of the piano, middle, bottom. When I mean bottom, I mean on the very left side of the piano. When I mean middle, right in the center. And when I mean top, I mean like going to the very right side of the piano. So as you notice that when you get higher, the notes will get higher. When you go lower to the bottom, the notes will get lower. Speaking of notes, let's review a little bit about our notes. We have been using these the whole time, right? These are called whole notes. And these are 4 beats. I don't like the way I have that. Let's take that away for a second. The next one we have is this is called the half note. And then now we have our last one, the quarter note. So we have the quarter note, the half note, and the whole note. Okay? So take a picture of this if you need to. And then I'm going to erase that. And we're going to talk about how many beats each one is. So our first one, this is 1 beat. Means you hold it for 1 count. The next one is 2 beats. Hold it for 2 beats. So you hold this note for a little bit longer. And the next one is 4 beats. It's our longest note. So remember, you have the quarter note, the half note, and the whole note. Now, take a look at the picture. A quarter note is when you have the circle colored end and the stem, right? But then when you have a half note, they take away the color. There's no color now. And then when you have a whole note, they take away the stem. Now it's just a plain circle. Okay? So we use whole notes to signify reading notes. I just really want to kind of practice, and I do have a little sample question for everyone at the very end. This is a bonus. I'm using the treble clef. And if you can tell me the answer to these notes, you get a thumbs up. Okay? So you have these 2 notes. You know the answer to these two notes. Okay, I'll leave it up there. This is the homework. Alright. Okay. Sounds good. I'll see everyone in the next video.